Thank you for being here. I'm John McGinness, the retiring sheriff, although not immediately. And it's my pleasure to introduce the person that I've chosen to support for this office. With us this morning, you're going to hear from a couple of speakers. I'll hold off on their introductions until they actually come up to speak. But in addition to those who are actually going to be speaking, the Honorable Patrick Hume, Mayor of the City of Elk Grove, is a supporter. You will be hearing from Congressman Doug Ossie. He's here. The West Sacramento Police Chief, Dan Drummond. Former U.S. Attorney McGregor Scott, the Ileton Police Chief Rick Sullivan, Nino Salerno Ashford, Executive Board Member of Crime Victims United, the former U.S. Marshal Tony Amador, former Elk Grove Police Chief Robert Simmons, who you will be hearing from, the former Director of California Homeland Security George Vinson, Mr. Norm DeYoung, Efrain Gutierrez, Chair of the Sacramento Chicano Consortium, Mona Foster, a community advisor to District Attorney Jan Scully, and a ad hoc member of the Sheriff's Outreach Community Advisory Board. Jose Perez, or Adrian Perez, I'm not sure who we had join us, or maybe both. Publisher of the Latino Journal. Dr. Tom Bay, Vice President of APAPA. Lydia Iloman, Community Leader, Filipino Community. Sergey Turbarov, Community Leader, Slavic Community. Richard Loa, Chairman, Republican National Hispanic Assembly of Sacramento. Susan Main, America at Work. And Dorinda Henderson of America at Work. And let me just tell you very quickly, very briefly, I'm going to have some remarks at the close as well. But looking at who is going to step into this office in the future, we are facing extraordinarily challenging times. And all of the things that have always been challenging in law enforcement are going to be intensified, I believe, in the years to come. Because we're facing economic crisis, unemployment, the reality that there are going to be significant inmates released from California's prison system. The challenges have never been greater. And looking to the future and looking who can step in and bring an element of ethics, integrity, intelligence, dare say brilliance to finding solutions, a man of character and leadership. That man is Scott Jones. I'm very pleased to be introducing him this morning. I will have a few more comments about him after we hear from him. But first of all, I'd like to start out by introducing former Congressman Doug Ossie.
Thank you, John. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of Scott Jones because I happen to think he is the preeminent candidate to succeed Sheriff McGinness. In this community, we've been fortunate. We've had a string of exceptional sheriffs in this county, John being the most recent and current, and I'm looking forward to the time when Scott Jones takes that position. Scott's got lots of experience in the department. He's John's right hand at the moment, but he's also run the main jail. He's served on patrol. He's an attorney. We won't hold that against him. But he has wide experience in the challenges facing this community. Now, as a lifelong Sacramentan, I look forward to the day when Scott Jones is sheriff, and I encourage you to join us in supporting him.
Thank you, Evan. And next, we're going to hear from the man we all came to listen to this morning. And again, let me just emphasize exactly what it is that makes me believe so strongly in Scott Jones as the next sheriff of this county. You look historically, law enforcement has always been a very challenging and vital component to the success of a community. The extent to which law enforcement thrives and accomplishes their mission, I think, heavily dictates the quality of life that people in that community will enjoy. There have always been challenges, and there's no secret that with economic ebbs and flows, the challenges can intensify. In this particular scenario, we not only have people who have been able to make a very robust living in the past several years that now are facing challenging times, but we have public sector. The county coffers are frankly dry, and with that brings entirely new challenges. We have, as I stated earlier, the prison system that's overburdened, and in fact we know that we will see an early release of significant numbers of inmates into the community. Among the things you have to have in order to be successful are the confidence and respect of the community. And that comes not only through resources, but through the leadership, setting an example of positive behavior, accepting the fact that the practice of this profession is so incredibly critical to the success of the community. And as I look to the future to see who could excel in the challenging times that we face, there's nobody that looks better than Scott Jones. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce the man that I hope will be the next sheriff of Sacramento County, Captain Scott Jones.
Good morning, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Sheriff, for those unsolicited but much appreciated remarks. Thank you to the folks that are standing around me for their support. I'm truly humbled by their willingness to lend of themselves to support my candidacy. And last but certainly not least, thanks to my wife Christy and our 4 children, Alexandria, Sarah, Christopher, and Andrew. My wife Christy is with me today. My children, I thought more important for them to stay in school, although they very much wanted to be here or anywhere but school. My family is very important to me, and I would not be embarking upon this journey if it were not for their unwavering commitment and support. When Sheriff McGinness first came to me and asked if I'd be part of his succession plan, it was not an easy or a quick decision. I thought long and hard about whether I could strengthen public safety in the community, or whether I could elevate to a higher degree the community trust and collaboration. And after much introspection, long talks with family and friends, and many discussions, in-depth discussions with Sheriff McGinness, I decided to announce my candidacy for Sheriff of Sacramento County. I've been with the Sheriff's Department over 20 years. It's a profession that I take seriously and that I truly feel honored to be a part of. In that time, I've had a number of assignments. I've had a lot of assignments. They've been great assignments, but make no mistake, varied experience does not equate to leadership. Leadership cannot be gauged by checking boxes on a resume. Leadership is how you conduct yourself each day, every day, day after day, and year after year. From the very first days of my career in the academy, where my peers voted me Academy Class President, to getting my criminal justice degree at Sac State or my law degree from Lincoln Law School, where my peers once again voted me school president, I have been carrying myself with leadership from the first day I pinned on the badge. I have not stopped, and I will not stop. So as we try and navigate this ship forward through uncertain seas, I have to first look backward and see what Sheriff McGinness has brought during his tenure. The accessibility, the accountability, and the transparency have been unprecedented, and it's paid dividends. I love that. I'll continue down that road and even accelerate it with more transparency, more accountability, and more accessibility. And I'm fully aware of the extraordinary public safety challenges that face us, perhaps the most challenging and difficult public safety challenges of our times. Now, it's important to have good leadership in the Sheriff's Department during times of economic prosperity and growth. We've had those times. But during these times, these extraordinary times, good leadership is not important, it's critical. So as budgets shrink and populations increase, we're constantly being asked to do more to provide a greater level of public safety with fewer resources. It's going to require leadership. It's going to require vision. It's going to require collaboration, and it's going to require energy. I have all of these things and the support and the experience to meet these challenges. So I'll protect your homes, families, neighborhoods. I'll create a greater relationship between the deputies, our elected officials, and the communities so that together we can form a united front against crimes, gangs, and violence. I'll ensure that my personnel adhere to the highest ethical standards, but make sure that they have the support, the equipment, and the training they need to do their job safely and effectively. They work every day very hard, risking their lives, protecting your and my family. They've earned our support and respect. And I'll increase innovation and efficiency in the department to do more with less, to make sure that we're getting sufficient return on our public safety dollars for our tax dollar investments. Because to protect public safety, you have to protect tax dollars. And I'll engage the citizenry in their own law enforcement. I'll foster trust and engage the communities to have ownership over their own public safety in collaboration with the Sheriff's Department. I'll increase neighborhood watch programs, create public safety programs, volunteer programs. I will distribute crime prevention literature and programs. I will invest in intervention programs for at-risk youth. And I'll establish a new paradigm for crime alert using today's new technology, such as text messaging, Twitter, and emails. And lastly, like Sheriff McGinness, I'll lead by example, with honor, with trustworthiness, with courtesy and respect for the people that I work with and the people that I'm sworn to protect. You have my word on that.